Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very first episode of Sandite Chat. We're trying a podcast version to basically get information out to people and let folks know about new stuff happening in the district. And I'm Sherry Durkee, the Superintendent of Sand Springs Public Schools, and just want to spend some time with our folks and with our guest today talking about everything new in Sand Springs. So I am honored to have our principal from Clyde Boyd Middle School, Miss Angelia Noel, with me today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course. So I get that question all the time. What is going on in Sand Springs Public School? What's new this year? And I always tell them about our Sandite Transition Academy. I've kind of shared that out in the media lots. And our after-school program, the new grant that we got that allows us to have after-school programming for elementary kids at 4 of our elementary sites, which is really fun. So I don't really hone in sometimes to site-specific things, and I know you have some really fun stuff going on at Clyde Boyd this year.
We have a lot of things going on.
So talk about them.
Okay, so bond first.
Yeah.
We are working on getting the bond approved, so we're excited about that and get a new building. So that will be awesome.
So we had our bond meeting last night, which was really fun. We began a committee, this a couple weeks ago. I don't know how you felt about it. We had a house full the first night. 3/4 of a house full probably last night. I had a few people that couldn't come, but overall, I got some really good feedback. I think that people are pretty excited.
I think most people were interested in just what the process of bonds, how all that works. But then once we did a little tour, they understood the necessity for what we're looking at doing.
For sure. They wanted the little slideshow we had, but I can't share it out because our board actually doesn't vote on our bond resolution until November. So we got a little bit of time, but the point is we wanted to create some excitement about the possibility of really not a remodel, but a rebuild of the 7th and 8th grade center at Clyde Boyd.
Yes, that's going to be amazing. Yeah. And I think it's something that students, staff, community is all going to be very supportive of.
So that took a long time to plan. Like we didn't just jump into it and say, hey, we need a new 7th and 8th grade center.
Right.
It took a little bit of planning. Yes. So how long really have you been thinking about what would be the best route to go for Clyde Boyd Middle School? How long have you been thinking about that?
So we've kind of been talking about it for the last year and a half or so, about that long. And just the process of what does that even look like? What would we need to do? What's the most important of our needs? So we have to kind of prioritize the things that we need the most because we can't have everything that we want. But there are a lot of really great things that we can get out of this that will be beneficial to students.
So we talked about remodeling at first because we kind of think through, how to best spend taxpayer dollars and all of that stuff. And at what point when we were talking about how to remodel, the timing of it, how critical it was to make sure that kids still were in school during that process, at what point in that process did you go, I don't know that remodeling is the best plan? Did you ever come to this epiphany?
I did, because at any point when you talk about disrupting their education, it didn't seem like it was going to be very conducive to a great learning environment for us to be able to do any massive projects. And the undertaking that is that building it's massive. And so all the things that are absolute necessities that have to be repaired were big projects and not things that you could necessarily do over a summer break.
Right. For sure.
So, and our facility is used by the community a lot.
Right.
We have our gyms are in constant use. The auditorium's in use. We are serving the community in a lot of ways just at our facility. So we definitely need that space to be accessible.
Well, we were talking about all the things that needed to be done in the building. I mean, the roof replacement, flooring, locker situation. The sewer, some of the things that aren't really fun to talk about. And I'll never forget looking at our architect. She's amazing. We're using KKT, as you know, and I feel like I'm a pretty good reader of body language. And at one point, finally, Sarah said, I think we're talking about pouring so much money in that we shouldn't do that. We need to think about and consider rebuilding. So I love where we're at. I think we had really great responses from our committee members last night. I think they were excited, and the tour was, I think, the telltale, because once you see the kinds of things that our students are having to deal with every day, it really does open your eyes. So we're going to be doing some community tours of those too. So get ready.
Yes, I'm excited about that. I think it's awesome for people to see that what we are working with and the things that we're still able to accomplish, even though we're dealing with some things that are a little more difficult. But we're still providing a safe, loving environment for them and doing the best we can. But we could do so much better for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And being able to provide an environment that is not only safe and loving and all the things that we're trying to do now, but it's also really great learning space.
Right. Well, after the board resolution in November, we're going to be opening up those meetings. Angela, just get ready to full community involvement. So just setting aside some space and time for anyone who wants to come and tour. That's not the only project on the bond ask for this time, but it is the biggest one. It's definitely the most comprehensive. And so getting ready to invite our community in to come see what we do, help us educate them on exactly how bonds work and what our plans are. So that was
such an interesting process.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. I really lost my voice. Last night I've been struggling, as you know. And so I was worried about this podcast today. So diving deep into Clyde Boyd Middle School, I do think that we spend a ton of time on Charles Page High School, what's happening with our secondary kids. They get a lot of attention just because athletics is on showcase at events, and some of our fine arts programs are on showcase. Sometimes we don't talk enough, I think, about what's going on with middle school kids at Clyde Boyd. And so I know you've started some new things this year. Can you expand on? I'm going to start with archery. Like, I know one of our teachers moved up, entered the space of middle school, which sometimes isn't a fan favorite for people, but she's really taken on a passion of hers. So can you talk about Gina Myers for a minute?
Yes, Gina Myers is awesome. She's really taken this challenge and just ran with it. Over the summer, she went to some trainings, and she talked to me about watching them dress a deer. It's a very, very kind of a complicated process.
As in hunting dress a deer.
Yes, she did the whole shebang.
It took me a minute.
So she learned how to do that. She did the hunting safety, and the Oklahoma Wildlife Conservation gave us $13,000 to get the program started. So that's pretty
amazing.
Awesome. We've gotten some other grants as well, a couple smaller grants, but the students are loving it. It's something, now I know Garfield does some, and I think Pratt does a little.
As well.
We also started Debate League this year.
Okay.
So,
debate is really important at Charles Page High School, by the way.
Yes.
And I met, you just said Coy Moses, and I met him on the onboarding process before school started. So he's a new teacher.
Yes. And he is awesome. And he's so excited. He now has a 7th grade debate and an 8th grade debate. And it's something that it's kind of passionate. It's a passion of mine because I did debate in middle school. And I think it's a great place for students that may not otherwise have other interests in things. And so watching them get ready, they were going to a tournament a couple weeks ago, and they're all standing up in the foyer and just listening to them. They're so nervous. Which is me. I'm not a great at public speaking. It's not my thing. And to watch them all get excited about, what do we do? They're going to look at me. I don't know what to say. And it's such a great opportunity for them to do that in a space that is not so high stakes. They're in a classroom with their teacher that, is coaching them along the way. And then they go to these tournaments. Right. And
perform.
Yes. And they came home with awards.
Oh, that's so good. I think I saw that. I think that was published. You have a tremendous staff over there, not just in the core subjects, which are, again, incredible, but all around. There's so many people that do some really, really great things.
That love, and they love middle school. So the niche of middle school is just different. It's easy, and it's not easy. Any teaching job is difficult, but with the littles, it's different. And the high school kids are more mature. They're doing it. So middle school students are their own individual challenge, and so the teachers that love it and they really flourish in that environment, I'm always impressed.
Oh, absolutely. They just completely buy into
that in kindergarten too. Kindergarten's a little
I'm not even going to talk to you about early childhood. I had my own little experience with that. Of course, I
did early childhood. I did 1st grade, I did 2nd grade, and I just think that every teacher's a saint when it comes to
but you came from that elementary mindset, and we ask you to stretch your area of expertise as well when you moved to middle school leadership. And so that was hard a little bit. Yes. I mean, it was a learning curve for sure.
It was very eye-opening.
Absolutely.
So my first year in teaching was in middle school, and it was in Tulsa. And I decided at that point, they're bigger than me. It's probably not my cup of tea.
Yes.
It stretched me for classroom management.
Right.
Because it's a whole challenge.
Right.
And so I went from 8th to 6th to 1st. And so the first year, first grade, I remember looking around and going, why am I wiping noses? Like, they should be able to do this, and nobody can tie their shoe.
Right.
Teeth are falling out everywhere. This is just not.
I hear you. I agree 100% with that.
So, but elementary is its own world, and it's amazing, and it pours into your buckets in different ways. I think middle school, we get to pour into their buckets a little more. You're unsure of yourself. Middle school's a weird time.
Yeah, they're trying to figure everything out, for sure.
And you don't know who you are. You don't know what you want.
Yeah.
You don't know which group do I feel like I fit in. And
the social piece is really important.
It is. It becomes the forefront.
Right.
And so stepping in, 6th graders are still elementary-like. When they kind of cross that bridge, maybe after, winter break in 6th grade, it's a different... they're dealing with a different subset of emotions.
Sure.
And
absolutely.
so developmentally, it gets kind of wild.
It does. So tech is a big deal at Clyde Boyd. Mm-hmm. Just, I know the Project Lead the Way, of course, is kind of a thing that we do, but just STEM education. You've got a new tech teacher.
Oh, Mr. Argallo is phenomenal. He has hit the ground running. Last year we had our STEM class, which was forensics. It was called forensics. And when we were working over the master schedule this, in the spring of last year, I said, let's talk about the names of these, because kids weren't signing up for forensics. And so we changed the name to medical detectives.
Okay.
And they're full. Okay. Classes are full, and the kids love it, and they love him.
Yeah, forensics, I'm not even sure I knew what that was until I was an adult. Honestly, if I'm going to be honest.
It sounded intimidating, I think, was the thing. And so in order to just kind of appeal to that crowd, it's the same class, but it's full now.
Well, and it feeds into biomedical sciences at Charles Page. So that was really kind of a cool little niche that we started as well. And I love the fact that it's this flow of continuity for programming, which is so great, which is why I love the fact that debate has begun at Clyde Boyd, because it feeds right into our debate program.
It's exciting to have that continuity between sites. I think that they're better. If you by year
100%.
3, I mean, in my job, the first couple of years have been every position change has been okay. Now we're on uphill again.
Right, absolutely.
And then once you get to that, and you're like, okay, now I can coast a little while. I feel like I've made some changes. I've done some things. We've made some ground. But a lot of times it seems like it's a lot uphill. We asked him to do 3 trainings over the summer.
Oh, I know. It's a lot.
Maybe 4.
And I think they're 2-week training.
And it took his whole day, every day. But he didn't blink. Right. He just was like, okay.
He's ready, let's do it.
He's okay. And he didn't really ask very many questions. He's such a go-getter that he did it on his own. We also started sportsmanship this year.
Okay.
So just design, Coach Parks is teaching that, and it's for student athletes, and it's really like character ed. Okay. And I know that they watch some film and things like that, but it's a lot about your character on and off, the field,
so
sport, whatever. It's for athletes. Gotcha. So you don't have to be football, basketball, whatever, but just something that teaches them that your character counts when you are in these situations, like, if you take wins and losses, how you handle things. And so he's kind of creating that course all on his own. And that's been pretty neat.
Or taking the individuality out of team sports. I think that's hard sometimes for kids to learn that it's not just about how many points I score, but it's really about the team process. And, we don't cultivate professional athletes sometimes, but that's not the point. I think sometimes, and so I love that. I'm not even sure I knew that. So that's great.
There's
so
only one section of it. So it's 1 hour, and then they have access to the weightlifting room.
Okay. Golly, I'm thinking through journalism. I think might be kind of a new
Katie
edition.
Edmondson, she's doing journalism.
Katie's at our meeting last night.
Yes, she was
delightful.
She's a blast. So they're doing the TVs in our hallways, and they are going to do some other projects for the district.
So I'm hearing maybe funneling into Sandite TV. Broadcasting is a thing at Charles Page High School, and that was new last year. We got the Jumbotron. So I love I feel like you are taking a peek at what the expectation is at the high school and trying to build foundations to support that moving on. That's so
They put out a little newspaper. The last lesson was adorable.
Okay.
They interviewed some
Was
teachers.
it on Facebook? Because I didn't catch it.
No, it was just sent interim. I'll have to send you a copy of it, but it was really good.
Okay.
I do think that the idea is for the students to have outlets.
Right.
Because middle school is hard, high school is hard. All of it is, hard.
Applicable experiences, I think, that are meaningful so that it makes me interested in doing whatever it is you're asking me to do.
And then I'm connected to the school. And it makes me think, maybe what do I want to do with my life?
Sure.
Because it's hard to see in 6th, 7th, 8th grade what you want to do with your life.
You have really worked on culture at Clyde Boyd, and
we are working on
so evident, I think. And just from a perspective of coming in from the outside every so often and seeing the things going on, people seem more upbeat. I will say, I think this year might be the first kind of turn point year from where we've been the last 3 or 4 years, and I think behavior's getting better.
In general.
I do. I think attitudes are better, maybe. I mean, I know there's always some obstacles and things that you deal with on a daily basis, but across the district, I feel like we're overcoming.
Yes.
Some of
we're turning the corner.
We are. That's good.
Of just dealing with a lot of the things that we've had to deal with in the past.
Biggest challenge.
Been huge.
What's your biggest challenge?
Probably perception.
Okay.
So if I had to say, Ashley Canterbury makes a joke that she wants to put a billboard that like middle schoolers lie because sometimes they don't tell the truth. They don't tell the truth sometimes. But a lot of times
she has a middle schooler.
She does, and she doesn't think she's incapable of lying. She's like, if she lies, she will get her. But it's more of a perception thing, like that. From the student's perspective, here's how they saw it.
Right.
And then, so that's their narrative when they go home. And then to have those conversations with parents and say, look, that's not exactly how it went down.
Right.
This is, okay, we're watching it on video. This is actually how it went down. The video doesn't lie.
Right. But building those character traits to get where you want them to be, to see life outside themselves, and then see your point of view or another's point of view. That's so important to be able to empathize with someone else, and that's tough sometimes.
And I keep trying to reiterate the message to share with parents and other invested people that teachers are people. They make mistakes. They say and do things just like I do, just like you do, and so just letting them realize that yes, maybe they make mistakes too, and as long as we own up to those. And I think that's part of the culture.
So what is the thing that you look forward to every day?
The kids.
Always.
The kids. Yes. Even if they're not doing the right thing, they're still like, I love conversations with them. I like asking them questions about, where are you at right now? How do you feel? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your friends? How do you feel about home? And just being able to connect with them, that's the best part of the job. Yeah. And we need more time.
Relationships matter.
Yes.
They really do.
And I think that's what building the culture, it's relationships between teachers, staff, community, students and teachers, and trying to get teachers to be able to realize that they can connect with every student.
So here's a question about student awareness in middle school. Are any of them kind of aware that something's cooking around a change in building with Clyde Boyd Middle School? Has that rumor kind of gotten out?
We've talked a little bit about it. We talked about when we got the new bathrooms. Maybe one day we'll get a whole new building, but until let's take care of the one we have. Until then,
I was asking one of your former students. Her mom works in our office building, and said, if you could tell me one thing that I need to tell people about Boyd Middle School as a place, what would you say in order to get a new building? She said, well, I feel like they should visit the visitors' boys' locker room. It made me laugh because honestly, as you know, bathrooms have been kind of the bane of our existence at Clyde Boyd Middle School, just lots of issues that we got to show off yesterday. We'll do more of that. But it's funny, the middle school perspective about what could be better, and they'll tell you. They're super honest about what that can be. And so I've been quizzing a few of them, hey, what could be better? And they're more than happy. I think we've given
them a voice. I think as a district, that's something that we do really well, is give them a voice. I don't remember having that growing up, feeling like my opinion mattered. I had a student last year that rewrote the handbook for me.
Did you take any of the advice?
Yes, I took some of it. I see what you're saying.
Awesome.
But it was just the idea that he felt empowered to share that.
Right.
And it wasn't in a negative way. It was very like, hey, this is more student friendly.
Right.
Or this is how we see this.
Well, I've gotten a couple of student emails over the course of time with some suggestions. And honestly, a lot of them are really articulate. And so it really makes you listen to what they're saying, and maybe they have a great idea to make it better. And so I think it's so important to kind of listen to what they're telling us so that we can kind of mold.
Yeah, they've been given a platform. I don't think that always happens.
Right.
Where they feel empowered to do that, to email the superintendent or email the principal.
It's just funny. So occasionally I'll email back and say, I love this, and I'm going to forward this to your principal so that you can share. Because honestly, those things come into fruition at sites. Right. But it's just fun to listen to them and hear what they have to say. So anyway,
I agree.
I think the culture is so much better, and I really appreciate your leadership in that way.
I appreciate it. We're working on it. Everything is a process, and every year I have more goals than I can achieve.
Right.
So, and I'll continue to do that because it's just who I am as a person. I can't not do that. I try to be more realistic at the beginning of the year. I think, okay, this year I'm just going to do these 5 major things, and then those 5 major things lead to other things. And so in an effort to just continue to make it better.
We were real thoughtful through the process, though, and I appreciate that. Change isn't easy, and change isn't quick usually, and meaningful change takes time and takes buy-in from the people that are living the life.
It's a great staff. And
absolutely.
And they have latched onto things and been excited about changes. And I think that now that they're realizing that I've been there a minute, that they realize that they can come to me with suggestions. And if yours makes more sense, I'm not
there's no pride, is there?
I will go. No, not at all, because my end game is that it's better for all.
Right.
So if it's something that they're improving the process, and they've come to me and I've been like, that's a great idea, let's do that.
Right.
Because I think that that's something you do in your leadership. Is you try to let everyone have input.
Well, I got a chance to talk at the Tulsa Chamber a couple weeks ago, and myself and a few other area superintendents, and really it was just a space where we could share what's going on in our district. And we kind of started out this year with Be the Light. I think we can get so hung up on everything negative around you that's going on that you forget that you can be that beacon for everyone else to look to and get positive feedback from. And so we just have tried to portray that this year, and I feel it. I feel that energy.
I feel it with our leadership team, even like our site leadership team and then our district leadership team, that we are coming into our own. Our team has its own character. You know, we added Austin Brown to our leadership team this year, and that has been amazing. And he's been at the site, of course, but this is his first year as an assistant principal, and he's doing such a great job. Right. The teachers have nothing but positive things to say. I also
feel like it's pretty easy in our community, too, because our community just loves what we do as a school district. And I think they appreciate all things Sandite, and if they need to help, they will. They jump in, and I just look around. Like Mike Carter was at our meeting last night. He's our city manager, and you get that kind of commitment. We had a city councilman there. Of course, we had a couple board meetings at our last one as well. Board members, at our last one as well. And then the chamber president.
It's just a support.
It's crazy, the support.
We love you. We want you to do everything that you can do. They want to help us achieve our goals. They trust us with the education of students, and that we have their best interest at heart, which is great.
Well, and it's a great place to live in and be in. Okay, so to wrap up, because I know I could talk forever. Honestly, I could talk forever about Sand Springs Public Schools, but specifically your piece. But just some housekeeping before we leave. It's October. It is October.
I know.
And with that means fall break. But prior to fall break, give some information about parent-teacher conferences, because those are coming up really quick.
So you can schedule those with your teachers. Teachers are reaching out to parents now to set up, ones that they feel like are necessary. You can reach out. If you feel like you need to have a meeting with your teacher, you can just call, email.
Right.
So
But
we're
come on,
excited.
come all for
Yes.
sure. And it's the Monday and Tuesday.
Yes.
Right before fall break.
Mhm.
I don't have those dates on the top of my head, but it is on the school calendar.
Yes, it
and
is.
the information's out there.
The next Monday and Tuesday, you see.
That's true. There you
the
go.
next
There you
one.
go.
Yes.
So a week from yesterday and
Yes.
tomorrow,
Yes.
or today. Okay, well, it's good. It's the year's going by fast.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just flying.
Anything you want to add before we say goodbye?
No, I just appreciate all the support. We have a lot of parental support. We have a lot of parents willing to help, people willing to be on the bond committee. We do feel that love from those parents.
Absolutely.
And so we just appreciate that, and we appreciate you trusting us with your babies.
Absolutely. So thank you for being on the first episode. You're on the first
Thank you
episode.
for having me.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's been good. So we will continue and do this again.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.